a part of me believes that there's one race and everyone should be treated equally and we should love one another. But the reality of this world is that there's been a lot of things working against us as black people, and we need to stand up. And I feel like we're still enslaved, and we need to break the chains now. We need to wake up and unlearn some things, and it's like a journey that I'm going through myself, and I just want to share that with people out there, people that are part of my community and stuff. There's a lot of things I didn't know. I would say from like 2020, I've really been doing this history, been doing my own history lessons and self-discovery. And I don't like to always use the word, I don't really like the word woke, but I just feel like I'm waking up and I'm gonna do my part for the community. So first of all, the way Africa is, we all know Africa has so many resources. Like, I think like Africa is like the sweetheart of the world. That is where a lot of the stories biblically, a lot of history comes from Africa. A lot of the beginnings come from Africa. So much stuff. And do you ever wonder why there's so much poverty over there? Do you ever wonder why the people of Africa are so hard done by? It's not just due to the way they operate, their brains. It's not due to, like, we're all human. All around the board, we're all human. But, you know, why is it that over there, there's a lot of suffering? Why is the corruption so in your face? I believe in every country there's corruption, but why? Let me just show you a clip and watch this, and maybe you might learn a thing or two from it.
Sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep Sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap.
Yeah, so that was said by a professor called Howard Nicholas. It's just sad to hear, and that's why I say we need to unite. Like, obviously, this is generations, years of planning from their behalf. This is ideology from years back, history. Like, this is real history. This is plans that were made to make the world what it is today. And it's sad, but there's been loads of things against different communities, and what I see how other communities have overcome oppression, right, is uniting, right? And uniting, I believe, starts in the home. First of all, in our community, like, we don't really work together. How can we now build outside of our homes when even the homes are not united? Like, so many single parents, so many absent fathers and fathers going all over the place. Even so, it's like, it's weird because it's like the older generation, some of them made it, as couples, but put up with a lot of stuff in their marriages. And then you've got, I would say, the generation above me, where there was a lot of absent fathers. I feel like my generation has even improved with that part. There's still more work to do, but the generation above me, I don't know how it's all termed. I just know that I'm a millennial, under me is Gen Z, and that's what I know. But the generation above millennials, that had millennial children, basically, there's a lot of absent fathers. There's a lot of that. You know, I come from a single parent home myself, and I feel like now that that part has improved, like, I think all my friends are in their children's life, regardless of whether they're with the other parent or not. But I feel like, because even for me to be able to say that just shows that there's still a big problem to tackle. We generally need to start being families again. Like, we need husbands. Men, you need wives. Women, you need husbands. I don't care what generation we're in. I don't care what the system tells you. I don't care that now women are able to do things on their own and we've got this independent lady thing going on. I don't care if you want to say men ain't shit. We all need to unlearn certain patterns, certain behaviors, certain ideologies, and we need to come together and start this family thing up again. Because, okay, a lot of people feel like they can get by in this world now alone, but it's a selfish mindset. It is a very selfish mindset, because what are we doing for our community moving forward, the next generation, someone that looks like you, as a black person, so a kid that's growing up and looks like you? What are we doing for that person? No man is an island, or should be an island. It just don't work out. Like, things happen. Even if we all say, if we all have a mindset of, as long as I get mine, move through life, and I'm good, that's it. We're not doing, for one, you will be in a lot of spaces where there won't be people like you. You're gonna have to wear a mask all the time. Like, you won't always feel comfortable in every space. But if we move as a unit, as a community, you have people that are just like you around you. So that's one. For those people, and I guess I'm speaking more for people who deep down desire to have a family, who deep down care about their country, care about Africa, care about the culture, care about the community. Those people are who I'm really speaking to, because we can't all say that we're riding for black people and call out racism if we're not doing stuff ourselves to improve it. And that's why I said I'm unlearning things and I'm slowly working on that. And I really do think, I feel like there's this mindset that we've adopted, but I don't think it's originally from us. And let me tell you the mindset. The mindset is, when I'll talk about it from the man side and the woman side, I think the mindset from men is that like, a lot of us, I'm unlearning this now, right? But a lot of us are looking for perfection in women without even being, I can't even say perfection, because that's even a reach. Because of that, we're getting into so much different, like, you're going from woman to woman, you're not settling, you think it should be a certain way. But as much as I've said this before, as much as I believe and I do desire Well, I feel like now I've actually got a traditional woman in it. But what I would say is I've always desired a traditional woman, but I've had to adapt to how the world is now. I have to adapt to the current climate, and I can't expect that a woman should do a traditional wife role, yeah, if she's also working, she's also doing what a traditional man does. I can't expect her to be 100% dedicated to being a traditional wife. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to adapt with the times. And I think two things. As men, we have been taught, be the provider, you are the one that handles everything, financially and stuff. So that's also stopping a lot of men from getting into relationships. We actually need to stop lying to ourselves and stop acting like everyone's gonna be a millionaire, everyone's gonna hit the belly, everyone's gonna make the bag. No. Some of us are just gonna be average, right? That's the reality of the situation. A lot of people may not want to hear that. And this is not me saying that people should just settle, but generally speaking, you don't know when your blessing will come. You don't know what your role in life requires. So, some men are meant to be like, to be honest, some people are meant to be alone, but some men will get their bag or will get their success before they meet a partner. Some men's missing piece is the partner. That's the whole thing about team. When you look at any culture that is doing well, and I'm talking about a community, notice how there's a lot of marriage, there's a lot of partners, there's even some circles that they only respect you once you're married. Do you get what I'm saying? And you know why? Because that's where the true wealth comes from. That's what builds wealth. So isn't it funny how the way things are marketed to us is like we're kind of taught, women are taught, I need a rich nigga, I need a rich man, rich, all of this. But then it's so hard to get to that point. Lately, what was the last city girls that say 8-figure nigga? How many men have 8 figures or will even start earning 8 figures in life? Like, we have to be realistic here. Like, this is not a simple thing. Like, do you know what I mean? So if women follow that ideology and then men are saying, oh, I'm not getting into a relationship until I'm able to do that, what happens then? We're all fighting on our own, single, going through depression, taking drugs, because when all the party stops, when all the noise goes away, when you're no longer in them spots stunting or taking pictures looking good, a lot of people are going home and feeling lonely, and sometimes you're searching for something and you don't know what it is, and you're just unhappy, or you're going through depression, or you become ill so easily. Like, there's a thing, like, illnesses are not just things that happen, they come from dis-ease internally. You see what I did there? It's a dis-ease internally, and this can birth problems like severe issues that can affect your health, whether that's mental health or whether that's physical health. And they come from stress, loneliness. The people that, one thing I must say is, I went for an appointment with my mum, and basically she had surgery for like a chronic illness, and I was there to support her, and I looked around, and all the men that were in there were single, alone. I kid you not, I'm not lying. All the men were single, alone. all the women that were in there, they either had their partner, husband, or boyfriend, I don't know, but they had a man with them, or they had children with them, younger men, younger women. And it just made me realize that, wow, like, is it that men need to do better, or is it that we internalize and we don't ask for help? But my point is anyway, is that being lonely not only affects the community, if there's so many men that are lonely, black men, but also it affects your health and you can die quicker, and it's just not good, man. It's not good at all. There's a pandemic here, whether that's through mental health or whether that's through physical health. There is a pandemic going on with black men, and I'm here to talk about it. I don't care. So I just feel like we need to step up. We need to do better. We do need to be providers. We need to be working at it. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be saying, oh, you should be doing this, you should this, that, because I know it's hard out here. Like, it's hard. It's not it's easy to say it. It's easy to preach. It's even easy to aspire. But doing it is not easy because there are things working against us. I gave you an example in the video before of how they keep Africa low. So what do you think they're doing to us men that have made it to the westernized society? There's definitely going to be practices in place to keep us down. But at the end of the day, if we really deep and we use what we have around us, we make use of the community, we can rise up from the oppression. We can. I believe we can. It might not happen in my generation, but even if it don't happen in my generation, we should be setting the standards for the generation below us. And it also goes with women too. Sisters, I'm with you. Like, I hear it. You know, a lot of black women feel that they have it hard or the worst in society. Like, they say no one's treated as bad as a black woman. And this is where us as men as well, we need to support them more. But as black women, I feel like whatever society has done to you is also, and some of us men, black men, I understand, and it's made you guys more defensive and it has made your standards high. But I'm here to tell you, realistically, if you really want to build a family, a lot of those standards are not realistic. Yes, a man should provide for you. Yes, a man should be your protector. I agree with all of that. And yes, you've probably given chances to men that have presented that, but then has used and abused you. Or, you know, I get it. But all I can say is creating a defense, which I do understand, can work more against you than for you. Like, now that whole providing thing has been mixed up because guess what? The media has found a way to make it a trend, but the trend has now become unrealistic. Like that 8-figure nigga that I spoke about earlier. Like, a man for you shouldn't be someone who's just gonna provide everything for you. Someone who, like, what you're asking of men, like, he must pay this, he must do that, he must do that, yes, like I said, the man should provide. But think about it, is it really fair for a man, let's say if you're earning more than a man, and I know most of you say, oh, I will be with a man that I'm earning more than, or let's say you're earning similar or equal. Is it really fair for a man to use all his resources, yeah, to look after you, yeah, and you can just do whatever you want with your money, or just because the system has taught us, or just because of, not even just the system, because it is traditional. Women were just at home building a family, looking after the family. They didn't really work like that. But now, women work. Now you're able to go out just like your man. And where, yes, a lot of black men, I guess, didn't do as well as you guys in the school. And I could even go deep into why there's reasons like that. But in this day and age, I admit it, there's a lot of black women that did well in school, did their education, and are in high positions. But I also feel that somehow down the line, that is a good way to keep us down too. Because if, as women, you guys are demanding someone that earns more than you, and a lot of black women are doing well, getting hired in those high positions and stuff, do you know what happens if you don't find that? Because what you're asking for is a 1%, and I'm not trying to sound like these real red pill guys, but the reality is you're asking for a 1%, and in our communities, that 1% is very minuscule. It's very. There's not a lot. Because you know, the truth is, a lot of men will realize they can't take you seriously, or they don't feel that you would take them seriously if they ain't matching you financially or above. We've got the whole game messed up. We're so focused on materialism and finances. And yes, it's important. It's important, but I feel like the desire to run a family as a team, yeah, to take each other's strengths and spread it around the ecosystem in your household, to make sure that there is finances coming in, to make sure that things are getting done, to make sure there is a family unit, is more important than simple materialism and finances and asking men to pay for this, pay for that, nails, hair, handbags, all of that stuff. Your man should bless you, he should love you, he should do all of that, yes, but there's not a lot of men at that level yet to do that. But you know where that comes from? That comes from us building ourselves up together. Unless you want to rely on the few that's about, that probably get all the women that are not gonna settle down because they've got a whole, like, that fits so many fishes in the sea. It's for that 1%. Let's be honest. Anyway, let me show you this clip. Let's watch it and then talk about it.
The greatest crimes, there are many, but one of the greatest crimes perpetuated against black men specifically is the level to which their humanity and their hearts have been devalued, diminished, and dehumanized, and that they have become doing machines. The greatest value a black man has, in many instances, is what he can do for somebody. Right. And how he can do it, and how much he can do it, and how much he earns doing it. I mean, I hear it and see it among young people in the relationships, you know, oh, you're gonna get my nails done, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that. Right. You know, they've been demeaned and devalued and dehearted, right, to the point where they value themselves based on what they can do. Fix it, get it, make it happen. And no place have I seen in our world does anybody tell black men how to be. How to be with themselves, how to be true to themselves, how to be with their feelings, how to be with their heart, you know, and it's criminal. So what happens is then they begin to do the things that are expected of them, and that's how they're evaluated. And then if they can't do that anymore, whether it's the job or pay the mortgage or whatever, then they're just cast off like socks in the corner. Right. Right. And it happens to black women also, but usually because of the children in our care, we're given a little more leeway. But the way it's done for black men, and as I shared with you, one of the things my teacher taught me was one of the greatest kryptonites for man, a man in general, black men specifically, is the feeling, the belief, the treatment that he is somehow inadequate. And when you devalue a man, he's gonna feel inadequate, when you dehumanize him, when you deheart him. So then where does he go with that?
Right.
He's inadequate, and he doesn't serve a purpose because he can't do what you need him to do to make you feel better about yourself.
What's the purpose? What's the point?
What's the point? And that's why we have these incredible rises in suicide.
Yeah.
I personally think it's why we have this, and I don't know the figures, I don't know what they are now, but the increase between, I think it was 2017 and 2021, a 30-something% increase in the number of black men with prostate cancer, starting early. And why? Because their manhood is under attack.
Right.
And their psyche is not nourishing and nurturing them, and their masculinity. Because where in the world do we see them lifted, honored? I don't want to say respected. And here's what I hear in the back of my mind. So let me just go ahead and deal with it. Black women saying, well, look what they do. And look how they are. And look what they do, And we unwittingly participate in the emasculation, the dehumanization, the devaluation, and the disheartening of black men because they didn't do it the way we wanted them.
So you see that clip, right? We shouldn't be doing machines. As black men, we need to unlearn that. Our value is not based on how much money we can provide, whether we can buy this, how expensive our clothes are, how expensive our cars are. We have used all these metrics to value ourselves. Women, you have also used that to choose your man, especially if it's a black man, to value your household. Oh, my man can do this, my man can do that. You use that as a way to choose your partner. And I'm telling you, this does not work. It don't work. Evidently, that's why our community is the way it is. All the other communities that have wealth, they don't use that metric. They are together. And yes, the only thing I would say that's different is usually the wealth's passed down anyway in other communities. So they don't even have to have that conversation. Like, yeah, it does happen. The conversation now becomes, the conversation is there. But generally speaking, the biggest conversation is unity, is don't marry outside of this community. That's the bigger conversation in other communities. The biggest conversation in our community is make sure he has money. Make sure she's a perfect woman that's going to bow down to your feet. Like, it's not about be unified, have unity, stick together. Yeah, even if for better or for worse, even if you're going through hard times, work that out. Yeah, grind hard together, do it as a team. We don't really have them conversations. I mean, people are starting to now, and people that are getting married, but generally speaking, that's not what is out there in the media. And remember, there's people that in the younger generations that are watching the media. So we've got to change the narrative. Like, it's left to us. Like, black men, we're getting ill. Like, we're suffering. All of this running around, all of this, how many women I can sleep with, all of this is not good for our souls. It's not good for our spirit. Like, when isn't the happiness is not there. Let's be honest, the happiness is not there. But you know what will fulfill you? What will fulfill you is a loving home with someone who loves you and cares about you, cares about your mental health. Women also, same thing. A husband that will love you, that cares about you. You need to also pick that man up, be there for him, be when the world tells him he ain't shit, you need to be that one that tells him he's a king. Yeah, both of you need that love, and it takes two, it's not just one. So yeah, like, I just feel that we need to change the narrative. Like, teamwork makes the dream work. The reality is things won't change overnight, but I think what we need to do is, for those people that really care about family and community and the next generation, we need to do better now, and we need to take the actions we can take now. Because first of all, we need to deal with our own issues as man and woman. As men, we need to show our children what a loving home is. We need to be good to our wives, and we need to show the children that, yeah, we need to be good to our wives. We can't run around and be doing a madness. Like, kids absorb things, they absorb feelings, they take on the mother's pain, as well as look up to the father. Boys look up to their father, but they absorb their mum's pain. Because you know, boys, they love their mum. As long as the mums looked after them and nurtured them, boys cling to their mum. So they take her pain, but they also look up to the father, because that's they see a father is a man who was once a boy like them. You know, you identify that you have the same physique. You're a man, basically. You're biologically a man. So he's going to look up to you as an example of what a man should be, right? This is so important, because this determines what happens in the next generation below us. If we're not patterning right with our current situations with our wives, those kids can take that and it will affect what they do in their relationships. I was watching the latest season of Love is Blind, season 6 to be precise, and there was a black couple, and everything looked like they were okay, you know, they gelled, whatever. But when the black guy got to the altar, he said he couldn't marry her. And I kind of knew it was coming, because all through the series, he kept talking about some trauma he had growing up. So he saw his dad cheat on his mum, and he even saw different women his dad used to be with. And that made him feel like he couldn't trust himself as a man, as the example he saw made him think he can't even trust himself because men cheat. And that scared him from marriage. And what he saw his mum and dad go through also scared him.
Part of what he is struggling with, he struggles with a marriage.
With commitment? Okay.
With a marriage.
Okay.
Is it sacred?
Mm-hmm.
Do you honor? He struggles with that. And all of those emotions and twisted feelings, he took that to the altar. And a lot of that stems from things that you have to explain and then apologize. Don't make excuses, just apologize so that closure can be had. But the marriage thing, the commitment, he struggles with that. He's like, I know you stayed, Mom, but there's things that I saw that I should not have saw or been in a position, you know, and kids, when they grow up and they see things, it's like, you know, is marriage for real? Or is marriage something that you get into and you lie and you deceive? And he took a lot of that to the altar with his decision.
Here's the thing too, Rita. I didn't necessarily have the best role models in my life.
I know.
You know, I can't ever remember my father ever being a part of my life. And
listen, I've always told you I forgave you. But there are things that had came out in the end that I did not know about until this experience. I was hurt. Again, I'm divorced from you, but things that he shared with me that I did not know. So that's why I'm saying he took a lot on his back. And although we came from broken families, that doesn't mean that we have to pass on that brokenness to our kids.
absolutely, you can stop the bleeding, stop the cycle.
Right. Your past and things that you witness is part of your DNA, it's part of your inside. And if you don't get freaking help, you bring that shit into the next thing. So the fact that he did this process, he wants to be in a long-term relationship. He wants that.
Tell me, meet somebody like you.
Huh?
I met you, you know, tell me, meet somebody like his mom.
Yeah, but you met me, but you wasn't good to me.
So that should show us or teach us that what we do goes down our lineage, it goes down our bloodline, it affects the children. What they see affects it, and that is the perfect way to damage the family. The family's damaged, no one's getting married, the next generation are scared to get married because of what they've seen. Then that affects our stance as a community in society, and everything's all messed up and we're just out here doing nonsense. So yeah, I don't have all the answers. I don't know too much about the world economics and colonization, and obviously me and maybe a small amount of people that would like to help. We probably can't change things overnight. Like, we have to be realistic here. But what I do know and what I do see is how communities thrive and overcome oppression. And I think the first step is in the home, in the family. Once we're able to unite as families, we can then unite with other families in the community, and we can build on that. And then maybe we can solve big problems when it comes to black people. And this goes a long way. This also solves crime. This also helps men to realize who they are. Have real examples of men. Have real examples of women, mothers. Strong. We're strong, but because we're strong through defense, and we don't need that strength no more. We need the strength to be able to stick together, to unite, to put our problems aside, and to build our community. That's the strength we need, not the strength to be defensive or to endure or have resilience. Funnel that. We need the strength to build. And I'll end with that. Peace out. Like, comment, subscribe.